We'll get started in just a couple minutes. Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Currier, and I am here to help you deliver your value to the world. It's great to be back in studio on our regular time, Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. As some of you know, I just got back from an 11-day vacation, took the camper out to Wisconsin and back. That was an interesting experience, but I'm happy to be back making content and getting the chance to hang out with you. For those of you who caught the live stream last Wednesday, it was a bit of a train wreck trying to get the mobile app to do what I wanted it to do after failing to use the Streamlabs mobile app to go live on an event. So great to be back. Good to see everybody in the live stream. I got some couple things that we can talk about tonight. We'll also get into some channel reviews a little bit later. But it is the 4th of July here in the United States. As Doug Houston already said, it's already the 5th on his side of the world. But we spent the day out doing some 4th of July activities, and now we're back here. Everything's winding down, and I get to spend a few hours with you guys. So going to hop in the chat and say hello to everybody, and hopefully we can talk a little YouTube tonight. Let's see who we have in the chat tonight. Let me pop out this chat just so it's not way off on the side. We'll see what is going on in here. All right, we have... Is it pronounced chicken strips? Just Rashad. Shadow Speedy, Blue Collar Dipper. Good to see you back in the stream. Doug Houston, YT. Nicole's Life in the USA. We have, is it She Roquez? Brown Status, good to see you again. Old Car Auto Guy, Exploring with Maris. Snake Eyes BP 1980. We have 508 Gaming out there as well. I see Pam Duthie. Ryan Films Animation. I Just Game. Chris Conkle Vlogs, good to see you again. Christiana Link TVJM. Little Gecko Productions. In the Sticks Gaming. Let's Play RC and Hobby, which, by the way, I think you're still holding up as the stream boss. Yeah, it looks like you're holding on by a thread as the stream boss from the last live stream. So good for you on that. And who else we have out there? Play, Replay, BR, Abdullah, Omegan, Yocosta Solutions, Wolfie's Roleplay, The Gap Live, Shannon Vlogs, good to see you as well. Self-Publishing with Dale, what is going on? Dale, good to see you. And... No problem, Dale. Tell Kelly I said hi. Looking forward to spending some time with Dale Roberts and Kelly out in Vid Summit. That should be a good time this year. For those of you who aren't going to Vid Summit, don't know what Vid Summit is, and don't know why you might consider going to Vid Summit, it is an excellent way to network with successful people on YouTube, learn what they're doing, what they've done to be successful, and how you can actually implement those things to become more successful on YouTube and actually turn it into a business. When I went to Vid Summit last year, I had 410 subscribers. This year, I'll probably be going back somewhere around 15,000. So definitely made some strides since last time, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to Vid Summit again this year because I'm going to be a lot more active in trying to set up some collaborations. Going to do some stuff with Dale, and as well as some other people that I've already spoken to. All right. All right, so for those of you in the U.S., how was your 4th of July? Hope it treated you well. It was certainly hot. Certainly seems to be the theme in a lot of places, extreme heat. Today was no exception. We had some really hot weather during my vacation out there in Wisconsin. I know Wisconsin's kind of a notoriously cold place, but it was 96 a couple days, and that was quite the experience. So it's kind of those days where you really can't move or breathe or think about moving, or it's just a big hot mess. So that's what the weather's been like around here in both upstate New York and out there in Wisconsin. DJ Scrap and Rooster, good to see you. Jason JV, good to see you as well. Welcome to the stream. Fantastic Joe, I see also. The roommates. Sup, it's 8. I think I said that right. Duck Zorley. Good to see some familiar faces as well as some new visitors to the live stream. Great to see you guys. If this is your first live stream and for some reason you're not yet subscribed to the channel, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell to be alerted to future videos that help you deliver your value to the world. That's the goal here on Creator Fundamentals, to make content that is useful, straight to the point, and can really help you build your channel into a brand and a business and help you grow on YouTube. Blue Collar Dipper says he still has all his fingers, so that is in fact a successful 4th of July. Not everybody walks away from the 4th of July that lucky. All right. Oh. I think I was just, there we go. Accidentally moved my pop-out chat too violently and it closed OBS on me, or hid OBS on me. Raining in Houston says Nicole's life in the USA. I was taking a look around. I know there's been some, well, a mixture of YouTube news, depending on what you guys consider YouTube news, both the drama side of YouTube news with things that are specifically going on with YouTubers. There's been a little bit of drama with Boogie2988. Then there was also TanaCon during VidCon that was kind of a train wreck, to say the least. And also saw Shane Dawson capitalize the heck out of that train wreck of an event with some astronomical numbers he was doing with the 3 video series he put out to kind of show some behind the scenes on how not to run a conference. That should be a lesson to all the kids out there. If you ever think about running a conference, make sure you plan it at least a year in advance, because those things take a lot of planning, and you don't want to be caught where those people were with the drama and stuff that unfolded there. Thank you so much to Shannon Vlogs for the super chat. Happy 4th of July, everyone, from Shannon Vlogs. Thank you. I appreciate it. She also took out the Let's Play RC from the Stream Boss, and now her channel is on display there right below the Creator Fundamentals logo. And basically, for anybody who's new, just a fun thing we do on the channel. If you do contribute via Super Chat, I absolutely appreciate it. It does help support the channel and the content that we make here. I say we. I always say we, but it's I. I'm a one-man show. But it does just support the content that I make here. And it's also a fun way to get your channel displayed during the live stream. I think I have it set to 10 points of damage for every $1. So if you do $10 in Super Chat, that wipes out all the health points of the existing stream boss, and then your channel gets displayed up there. And it's good to see that it's actually working tonight, because half the time, well, maybe not half the time, but a good 25% of the time it freezes and takes forever to update. So it's nice to see it's actually doing its thing. Of course, I'm looking at it inside OBS, so it may be slightly delayed for you guys. Let me switch over and see. Yeah, it looks pretty good over there. So that is good tonight. So we're going to definitely do some channel reviews later. And also, like I said, there was a couple little random things that I wanted to chat about with regards to both YouTuber news and drama, and also some actual news with features and things. Were any of you guys following any of that stuff with TanaCon or the videos that Shane Dawson put out? Everybody kind of jumped on that bandwagon, and that might be a lesson for everybody. You look at some of the major YouTubers when the TanaCon debacle happened. You had Shane Dawson. I'm not sure where he's at, 6, 7, 10 million subscribers, somewhere out there. Philip DeFranco, I think he's over 6 million subscribers. PewDiePie, all jumped on that as a hot topic. And they all did pretty well with the views that particular content provided to them. So that's a good lesson when you have something that is related to your niche, or you can find a way to take a trending topic and associate it with the type of content that you're making. Jump on it, share it on your video, and try to take advantage of some of that increased search activity or increased interest, and make that work in growing your channel. Jason JV, I don't trust the security at VidCon. Well, tell us more about that, because I have never been to VidCon, but I am planning on going to VidCon for the first time next year. So let me know what the deal is with security at VidCon. Shannon with the stream boss. Awesome. Just what I caught on PDS. My brain's trying to figure out what PDS is. Also, do you guys, I'm curious who has the live closed captioning turned on the live stream. How's that doing? Is it doing pretty well? I believe that is a feature that's out to anybody with 10,000 subscribers or more, where they will actually generate the closed captioning in real time on a live stream. So if you are using that, tell me how accurate it's been. I do have it running in the background, but I'm kind of focused elsewhere. So let me know how that looks. I can't imagine it's going to be 100% perfect, but it is great to be able to share your live streams with people who might not otherwise be able to participate in them or enjoy them to the full effect with that live closed captioning. That's pretty sweet. I do like that. Let's see. Wolfie's replay. How's your day doing? I don't know if that was to somebody else, but my day has been pretty good. We were actually out, so just a little replay of my week last week, as some of you may have saw from the last live stream. I did it from a bedroom at somebody's house. We left not last Friday, but the Friday before last with our travel trailer, our 2014 Jayco Whitehawk that we just purchased for the previous camping season. We drove that. I towed that out to Wisconsin, about a 16-hour trip. And then on the way back, we have a camp in upstate New York. So we went out there for 6-7 days. And then on the way back, we went to camp for an additional couple days. So we spent 11 days on the road and ended it off at camp. So it was quite a long time away from home. It's the longest camping trip we've ever done in the RV. So, or in the travel trailer. So it was an interesting experience, and we had to come back. We couldn't stay out there through 4th of July because my daughter does color guard, and she was actually in the local parade today. So we had to get home yesterday and get ready for that and get her over there and ready for the parade as soon, or get her there by the time that she had to be there to practice and get ready and line up for the parade. So that's where my day went. From there, we just did some general stuff and spent most of the time at home. And I focused on doing some content things for the channel. Put out a video earlier today. Was able to get out a video last night. I guess technically it was this morning by the time I was done, but I do have some other content that I kind of have a 3-video series that I'm going to put out probably starting on Monday. Probably Monday. I kind of want to wait till everybody gets back to work and gets past the vacation that they probably took associated with the 4th of July. And I'm going to release that probably starting on Monday. So Nicole's Life says, it says no captions available. Yeah, see, I don't know how that works or what causes that to do that. When I'm looking at it on my side thing, and it just popped up automatically. Let's see. Just double checking something. There we go. Oh, okay. Now I see it, Doug. I think got a little stop there on my chat pop-out box. So, okay. So that makes sense. I think the roommate said, I really think that the situation could have been very dangerous. Yeah, it absolutely could have. There's a lot of there were a lot of tones in that preparation of that TanaCon that was just a bunch of people who didn't know what they were doing. And really shouldn't have been in a position to actually plan such an event. So I thought Shane did a good job of covering the content, placing blame where it was due, but not stomping on anybody too hard. So they handled that kind of well. And if you look at his channel on Social Blade after he released those 3, he was getting like 86,000 subscribers a day. So mission accomplished on his end for sure. Shadow Speedy says, by the way, thank you, Dan, for the pro tip of not hitting the mic with your hand to improve your video quality. Yep. Got these flailing hands. I think I inherited that from my grandmother. Can't talk without moving your hands. Jason JV, I've seen vids from other YouTubers that have been to VidCon, and the security team there were really rough with some people, detaining them. They're bullies. Well, that's an interesting thing to note. Nicole's Life, yeah, Chris Conkle Vlogs. Yeah, Chris Conkle Vlogs. Tana kept saying that there were 15,000 people that showed up, but the police released a report that said only 5,000 people showed up. And basically, the venue only held about 1,000 people. So there were 1,000 people inside that were just smushed in there. And then there were about 4,000 people stuck outside, which is interesting because if you looked at the video that Philip DeFranco did, he actually showed a clip where they acknowledged the fact that only 1,000 people can be inside. And Tana goes so far as to say that 4,000 people will be stuck outside. I think she used like the word oppressed. But then she was like, they love that stuff. So I know I do. So it's kind of interesting how their minds were working. I don't think they really understood the gravity of what it was like to make 4,000 people stand out in the heat for several hours. So they kind of screwed the pooch on that one a little bit. All right. She just kept saying 15,000 people showed up in all her posts and videos about it, and someone did a oh, nice. Anyone watching fireworks and the live stream at the same time? I would watch fireworks if I had a view of them, but I don't have a view from here. But I will. It's probably, I don't know if it's quite, they should probably be starting here pretty soon. I can usually hear them, depending on where they're actually holding them. So we'll see if we hear those a little bit later in the live stream. Yeah, I had actually never heard of Tana prior to this whole TanaCon thing. Never seen her or heard her or knew she existed. Yeah, Shane, he did a good job. He was nice to her. He probably could have been a little more tough love with her because, you know, that was quite the debacle. Car Galaxy Studios, good to see you. Welcome to the streaming. Going to VidCon next year as an experiment. Yeah, I was, VidCon doesn't really seem like my thing, but some of the stuff that goes on in the area during VidCon, you know, one of the things they say about Vid Summit, and it's probably true at VidCon as well, the most interesting stuff or the most helpful stuff takes place in the hallways. It's all about networking and you know, setting up meetings and working and collaborating with other creators and stuff. That's where all that value gets created, and that's why I'm going to be there next year. Not so much for certainly not going to stand in line to see any YouTubers, but I'll definitely be there to try to absorb and make some connections and you know, experience what it's like, and you know, try to make the most use of it to help grow the channel. Did I finish? Let's see. Somebody said, what are you drinking? Sparkling water? If so, have you tried bubbly? Yes, I've tried bubbly. This is actually LaCroix, sparkling water. Bubbly's not bad, but it almost seems like this random sparkling water conversation. I almost feel that, like, on some of them, all the flavor like disappears when you open it. Like, it's almost like it smells like the flavor and doesn't actually taste like it. And not all the flavors are that good. I like the grapefruit on the LaCroix. It's probably my favorite. But all the other ones, because they're a sweet flavor, but they're not actually sweet, it's kind of a weird thing. But the grapefruit, you don't really expect to be sweet, so I think it works well for the sparkling water. And it's allowed me to give up diet soda, so that's a bonus. I can hear them right now. They just became legal in PA, so everyone is taking advantage. Yeah, there's certain ones here that are legal. They've started to allow some fireworks to be, like, you can do them in your yard and stuff. And strangely, this is probably the first year in a couple years we haven't done those in the yard, but in any event. Aunt Sue says, I got a view from my porch. That's awesome. Guy the IT guy, good to see you as well. Heat Spotty, hello, you helped me out a lot. I'm doing live streams right now for 4 months. Would you please review my channel and give tips? We'll definitely be taking a look at some channels a little bit later. I will, let's see what we got going on here. I am going to open your channel and I will put it in the list. And then when we start to do live streams, as long as you're still in the chat, we will take a look at your channel later. So, Elite Jamaica official channel, good night to you. I didn't even see you pop in, and it sounds like you're leaving already. Shannon Vlogs, why did you have to give up diet soda? Just giving up artificial sweeteners. I didn't have to. I do occasionally. I didn't like give them up because I think they're the devil, but I just figured in the long run I'm getting old. So anything I can do to eat better and drink better, I think is to my benefit. So, and this stuff I don't have to feel guilty at all because it's just water. You know, unless they determine that carbon dioxide is somehow bad for you, then in soda anyway. Yeah, Nicole's Life. I got rid of regular soda a long time ago, and I tend to drink. I was drinking like Diet Pepsi was pretty much where I was at, and I used to just drink 3 or 4 of them a day, and now I drink 3 or 4 of these things a day, especially when I'm at work. So. Again, happy 4th of July, Independence Day, to anyone in the States or anyone who cares to celebrate the 4th of July. Let's see. Okay. Savage Scientist, do you remember clearly Canadian 1990? That was the best sparkling water. The only thing is in 1990, you probably couldn't have paid me to drink sparkling water. But now that I'm older and wiser, I'm really getting used to it. Of course, I didn't bring enough over, and now I'm almost out of them. Almost out of water here. And we just started. Let me take a look at something here. See where we're at. All right, good, good, good. Everything looks good. Signal looks good. Have a few channels open. As long as they are in the stream later on, we will do reviews on those. Yeah, Shannon, I mean, there's mixed stuff on whether artificial sweeteners are bad for you, but I'm sure in the long term they're probably not the greatest, like you said, so might as well avoid them while I can. Funny Kids Playtime with Jaden James Toys review. Do use OBS for doing split screen on live. If you're talking about what we're looking at here, are you asking like an interview type thing? I'm not exactly sure what your question is. I do use OBS. I use it for all my live streams except when I can't be at my computer and I have to use mobile to do a live stream. But yeah, OBS allows you to set up scenes and sources. You can certainly do split screen if you're doing like an interview kind of thing. If you're talking about the screen I have up now, yes, that's OBS as well. And Car Galaxy Studios. Yeah, I gave up I kind of made the decision a long time ago, just because my family is kind of built like bowling balls. Everybody's short and wide, so the last thing I wanted to do was drink calories, so I gave up regular soda a long time ago. And luckily I'm a little taller than average among my family members, for the most part. My brother got some freakish gene, and he's over 6 foot tall, but didn't quite get that far. But I did outpace the rest of the family in height. Car Galaxy says, good, Undan, try avoiding sugar. If you guys watch Dr. Sten Eckbert's content, you will avoid sugar forever. So I guess now we have to go check out what Dr. Sten has to say about sugar. Should be interesting. Just Rashad, when will you start taking questions for YouTube in general? The Wednesday live streams are all about you guys, so anytime you want to ask a question, by all means, I would say the best bet is just to tag me in it and then ask your question. It's much easier for me to see where I'm tagged in this, especially since I seem to have this font so darn small. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Will that work? Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's going to let me do that. But anyway, anytime during the live stream, you can ask questions. If I happen to miss your question, just tag me again and ask it. That's probably the best way to do that. And hey, real quick, just want to remind everybody that this live stream is sponsored by the good people at TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is the #1 browser plugin for managing and growing your YouTube channel. It's available to download for free, and there's a link in the description below. TubeBuddy has been super awesome to the channel, so I am always happy to remind everybody to go check out TubeBuddy. It's a plugin. You get to use it on most of the major browsers. It gives you some tools that are available to you inline when you're uploading videos. Super handy. There's a free version, so if you've never tried it, I would definitely recommend doing that. And they are right there. Make sure I pop that out there. That link should work, I hope. Hello to Wicked Fabs. Happy 4th to you as well. Hello, Creator, says Weird City Citizen. Hello to you, too. So I'm curious, how many of you guys have explored merch, either through Teespring or merch by Amazon? I see that Streamlabs now has a integrated merch store. I asked because while I was on vacation, I just got the new shirts in. I actually had these done up like this and as like pullover hoodies, and they turned out nice. I like them. I really like the gray. I'm not sure what they call this, but versus the solid black. I think I just heard fireworks. Oh yeah, fireworks are going off now. But I don't really dive too deep into the merch just yet. I kind of dabble in it and kind of experiment with it. So I've done some recent, or in the process of doing some experiments on different platforms and different ways of lightly promoting it, just to mess around with it and see what works and what doesn't. So the pillow in the background, I mean, in general, so that particular pillow is from, I think it's, there's a store called Personalization Mall, and they were actually having a sale. It was just a photo pillow, and it was on, I don't know, whatever it was. It just popped up because it was on sale or something, and I was shopping for something else. So what I did is I took advantage of the fact that it was a photo pillow, and I went into GIMP, which is kind of like Photoshop, and I created my own picture, which was me and the subscribe button, and I uploaded that instead of an actual photo. A lot of people don't necessarily think to do that. You have all these services like Walgreens or, you know, just the general photo printing services. You can replace that photo with anything as long as you own it graphics wise, and kind of use their services to make affordable products to try out. You know, maybe you just want one mug. It's going to cost you a little more per item, but you could, you know, go to a site that does photo mugs and then just upload your logo as the photo and get yourself a single mug, probably a lot cheaper than if you tried to go someplace that did a professional setup with your logo and stuff like that. But anyway, these shirts, these are actually from merch by Amazon. Hey, and there's Dr. Sten speaking of content about why not to ever eat sugar again. Good to see you, Dr. Sten. Chris Conkle Vlog says, all those fill by order services pay too small a margin. Basically, what it comes down to with merchandise is risk. So if you're in a situation where you want to take on the risk, then you can order X number of a product and take all the risk of that it may or may not sell. You're going to get higher margins per item, but you also are holding on to the risk because you have an expense up front. You take these services like Merch by Amazon or Teespring or whatever they are, you know, the other options that are available, and you're pushing all of the risk to the printing company. Obviously, by doing so, you're lowering your own personal margin. So like a shirt like this, this is a bad example because I price these at like $14.99 just because they're the logo shirt. So I think I get like $1 a piece on them versus some other things that you price maybe $24 or whatever it is. You're going to get a bigger piece of that. But obviously at $25, maybe you're getting $5 and they're getting the 20 because they have all the risk. So that's kind of what you really have to think about and decide. And I just realized I have sparkling water on my shirt. But that is the decision that you have to make, is where you want the risk to be placed and where you want that margin to be, because you're not going to find a situation where you don't have any risk, but you have a high margin, because that doesn't really make much sense. Obviously, the printing company doesn't have a risk, but they remove all the risk from you. So that's why they get a much bigger portion of that pie than you would. Kevin Boston 7, got any plans for Independence Day? I know for a fact you're American. I'm not sure what that means, but yes, I'm definitely American. And it's now 9:35 on Independence Day, so all my plans for Independence Day have now been followed through on. And basically, we just went to the parade today. My daughter marched in the parade with her color guard team. After that, we kept it pretty basic. We just got back yesterday from our vacation, so it's kind of been some cleanup and prep for the rest of the week. We're going to obviously work the next 2 days, and then right after work on Friday, we're going to take off again and go up to camp for the weekend. So that is what we did today for 4th of July. The rest of the family is already up at camp, so we didn't do a cookout or anything like that we might normally do on the 4th. We actually had Chinese food for dinner, so that's a little bit of a break from what we normally do, but it was good, and there's leftovers, so there'll be a late night snack after the live stream as well. You know, I talk about not drinking artificial sweeteners because they're bad for you, and I had Chinese food for dinner, but what are you going to do? You got to, you know, make some sacrifices so you can enjoy some other things, I guess. Mansion actually stays here when we go on vacation, and my neighbor, which is my brother, his kids come in and take care of Mansion while we're gone. She doesn't mind though, because when we're gone, it gets rid of the 2 big dogs, so it's kind of a vacation for her of sorts. One of these days we might try to bring her in the camper with us, but I'm not sure if she would appreciate that as much as she might appreciate being able to roam the house freely without the dogs following her around. Oh, I can hear the fireworks. And the fireworks I'm hearing are definitely in somebody's yard, because they're a lot closer than the actual grounds are, where they do the official fireworks. Yep, everything's a trade-off, Shannon. Yeah, cats and dogs are night and day. Cats are very self-contained. They kind of do their thing, versus the dogs that are extremely high maintenance, and they freak out if you leave them alone for a little while, and then you come home and random things are chewed up. So we take all 3 dogs with us. Mansion gets to hang out here, and then my niece pops in every couple days to check in on her. Nines Catudio with a special hello to Mansion. She did miss us a little bit because right now she's in the room where I put the dogs during my live streams. Actually, the whole family is in there. I didn't put them in there. They're just all in there watching TV. But she's in there with the dogs, so. Nicole's Life says, I'm a cat person. I have to rescue cats. Mansion is, in fact, a rescue cat, and her name is Mansion because they found her outside of a mansion. That's how she got her name. That was the name that she came with, and we kept it. TJ LSB vapes. I'm Portuguese, so I'm celebrating in the States my independence from Portugal. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nines, with the special super chat, especially for Mansion. You know, I may have to get Mansion with her own YouTube channel. It might be a little bit boring though. I'd have to give her catnip every other video to really get the content interesting. Blue Collar Dipper, Dan, that doll is freaking me out. You know who that doll is? I assume this is what you're talking about. Don't knock it. There we go. The other things I have back here that you probably can't see. This was actually a trivia question that won somebody a TubeBuddy license in one of the last live streams. That's actually Lion-O from the Thundercats, which was popular when I was a kid. And we also have, you probably didn't even notice these guys. That's Harry Potter and Hermione chilling out there, keeping Lion-O company. She missed the dog secretly. Yes, she might have. Question. I saw some channels, got the sponsor button. I'm above 100K and I never got it. Do you know what to do? My understanding, like everything else, is YouTube does everything on a rolling basis. One of the things that I'm waiting for, what was the feature that I'm... Oh, the little tray, the merch tray, is supposed to be available to people over 10,000 subscribers, which I have, and I haven't gotten access to that yet, where you can actually have the little tray of items through, I think, Teespring or whatever other merch providers that they have a deal with. But I haven't gotten that yet, so my thought is on you not having the sponsor button, that it's just a matter of them getting around to everybody and rolling it out. See, that's one of the things. A lot of times, I'm kind of selective in the new features that I share on this channel because I don't find as much value in the features that they announce that takes them 6 months to give to everybody. Like when the community tab came out, for one, I didn't do any videos on the community tab because I didn't have access to it, and most of the people that I'm making content for also don't have access to it. So it's kind of weird to present features, while they may be interesting, that none of us can use. So in the case of the sponsor button, I definitely want to get to 100,000 to get the sponsor button. But the fact is that YouTube always takes a while from the time that they announce something till it actually makes it to everybody. So unfortunately, I don't have an exact date when you're going to get that being over 100,000. And I doubt anybody at YouTube is going to be able to provide a specific date in that. Hopefully it should be soon, though. There's just no way of really telling how long their rollout is scheduled. Doug Houston says it's Teespring and US only. So that, I guess that's a good question. Is your 100K channel a US channel? Or are you from somewhere else? Because that could be the issue as well. Canster plays. Should I still follow? Should I still follow what I want to do even if it's dying? I guess you have to define what it is that you want to do. You definitely want to make content that you're passionate about. If it's a situation where you've committed a channel to a specific game and that game is losing popularity, that may be kind of a tough situation because it may not ever come back. So you may need to figure out a way to pivot and become relevant, maybe with another game or a related game, or kind of share everything. I'm hearing all the fireworks going off on both sides of my house, so it's a little distracting. But yeah, it would depend specifically on the type of content that you're making and what you mean by it dying. Elite Jamaica question: does my community guideline strike affect me getting the community tab? I haven't heard anything that associates the community tab. I don't know, Doug Houston, have you heard anything about that? I don't think the community tab is based on YouTube Partner Program or anything else like that, and I haven't heard things like community strikes affecting the community tab, because I think ultimately everybody's going to get the community tab. It's just a matter of when they finally work that through to everybody. And right now, I know at least one channel that got it that was actually under 10,000 subscribers. So there may be some other metric that they're not sharing with us that defines when people get it. But I haven't heard of that being tied to anything else in that regard. Chipface question, and again along the same lines, I heard that YouTube is going to release the community tab to all creators regardless of size. Is that true? I haven't heard them specifically state that. I know I've seen videos where it kind of sounds that they were alluding to that. But as far as I know, they haven't even gotten it out to all channels over 10,000 subscribers yet. But I would imagine, whether they've stated it publicly or not, I think ultimately that may be the goal. Only because it just seems like way too much of a headache to tie all these different features to different levels. I think they'll keep certain things associated with the YouTube Partner Program and all that kind of be a package deal when you get into the Partner Program, but I'm not sure whether the community tab is going to become part of that package deal or not. Just for shout, I'm getting more views but not subscribers. Could there be something I'm doing wrong? Well, there's always opportunities for growth and to improve. If you're not getting the subscribers that you want, there can be a number of different reasons. It really depends on the type of content that you're making. You know, if you're doing how-to content or something, sometimes you got to work a little extra to get those subscribers. It could be something as simple as, are you asking for subscribers? Are you doing a call to action either at the end of your video or earlier in your video? If you're doing a call to action at the end of the video and your average view duration is only 40–50%, then a lot of people may not be seeing your call to action. You may want to consider moving that call to action further up. If you do want to do it earlier in the video, I would probably do it right after a bumper. I kind of use the formula of the hook, where you kind of deliver what the video is about. Your bumper, which is kind of like your branding. It can be as easy as a lower third that kind of just shows who you are and what you're doing. And then right after that, while you got people hooked but you haven't jumped into your content yet, say, hey, if you want to see more content like this, click the subscribe button, etc. You can also just do it as like an overlay that says subscribe. But I think the actual verbal request for the call to action to subscribe is going to be more effective than simply throwing a graphic up on the screen. And if none of that helps, you can go to my channel and search for subscribers in the video list, and you will get probably half a dozen videos with tips on how to get more subscribers. Oh, Shannon Vlogs got the fireworks going on as well. We'll hopefully see my channel. Let's see what else we got going on here. Dan, quick question. What's your favorite video you've made? This is going to be kind of the favorite video that I've made. Either the last one or the next one. Because I don't try to fall in love with any video too much, because I know that there's always room for improvement, and I know there's ways to be a lot better than I am now. So, you know, for a split second, it's the video that I just made. Happy to get it out, happy to get it finished and published. You know, and then it's going to move to the next video that I have to make. So, like I said, because my goal is always to improve, I honestly don't get too high or too low on any given video. I try to stay middle ground as much as possible. I do acknowledge when I make mistakes and things, as I did today in the video that I released, that I backhanded my microphone in the middle of the video. But hey, what are you going to do? It's always better to move forward than to get caught up on those kind of things. So it is what it is. It's funny because probably quality-wise, I could certainly identify some videos I put out that were of a decent quality or higher quality than the rest. But the most popular video on this channel, in terms of the one that kind of exploded, it's closing in, I think, on 200,000 views, is probably one of the worst videos in terms of mistakes, verbal missteps, and having to correct things with text and stuff on the screen that I've made. But it's also the one that gets the most positive feedback. So it's the strangest thing in the world. Kevin Boston, I noticed on my analytics that most of my views come from people that are not subscribed to me. How do I get them to become subscribers? Again, we talked about that a little bit. You know, putting that call of action in your video, actually asking them to subscribe if they enjoy the content, as well as following some of the other best practices on trying to get more subscribers. Best thing I would suggest is do that search for subscribers on my channel, and you'll see a bunch of videos that give a variety of tips on how to do that. I mean, they include things like removing all of the links, your channel links, moving it just to a subscribe button, as well as the way that you arrange your channel page. Again, if you're doing the call to action at the end, move it to the front, try different things. And at the end of the day, take a look at your analytics and make sure that you are making videos that people enjoy watching, that they respond to in a positive way. And also you can go and look at your subscriber report in analytics and see what videos have driven the most subscribers. Take a look at those videos, either by the type of content that they were, the subject matter, or how you recorded them, and see what you can do to make similar content that will help you gain more subscribers in the same way. Christiana, how long you're doing YouTube? So I had a YouTube channel for viewing stuff probably in like 2006 or 2007. Certainly during that time, uploaded family videos and things like that. It was actually last January. It was a couple years ago that I started my other channel, The Average Dan. And on that channel was basically focused on creating videos that help people solve problems that I encountered just during life in general. It was car repairs, it was some camping related stuff and other things. And when I quote unquote decided to get serious about doing YouTube, which was April of last year, and started applying those best practices that I was learning through watching tons of videos and doing other types of research, I really understood how powerful they were and how much they transformed a channel that wasn't doing any of those things. That was in April. By June, I decided to create this channel, to create the proper platform to share those best practices with people. So it was June 15th of last year that Creator Fundamentals started. We just passed, so that was that was 0 at June 15th of last year. And we just passed a year, the middle of June. So we're at a year and half a month here. And I think we're at, where are we at now? I know we're over 12,000 subscribers, somewhere in there. So overall, I'm pleased with the first year because I really wanted this channel to be an example of what happens if you commit to doing the small things consistently over time. That's the magic of YouTube, people. I know people always want to share with you these amazing things that help you grow quick and have amazing success overnight. But that's the formula for success. Consistency, doing all the small best practices repeatedly over a period of time. That period of time is probably going to be over a year. If you do that, you are going to find success on YouTube. And one of the things that I mention is the importance of not just grinding, but evolving, which basically means that it's great to work hard, but you have to be smart about it. You have to be committed to learning and advancing your skill set as you work hard and move forward. Obviously, if you just stay where you are and you keep working, you're going to be working harder and not necessarily smarter. So it's really important that you try to learn a little something with each video, or you edit or you film. You find different ways to be more efficient when you're recording videos, more ways to be efficient when editing videos, better ways to do your lighting, angles that you record at, all kinds of things that just go into that that puzzle of making you a better creator, making you more efficient, be able to put out better content in less time, which also helps with the mental aspect or the mental side of YouTube, which can get really frustrating, and you kind of want to get burned out, and you avoid that to some degree by getting better at what you're doing and finding smarter ways to do it. Doug Houston, you could do what Jeremy Vest does and introduce himself and what he's about in his intro bumper. Just trying to catch up in the chat here. Hook, call to action, intro, content, call to action, end screen. One of the things that I would say about that, if you're going to reference your call to action multiple times, don't make it different calls to action. If you want people to subscribe, stay true to asking them to subscribe. Don't fill your video with, hey, like, subscribe, comment, click the bell, slam the, don't go too crazy on that. For me, it's actually hook, bumper, optional call to action, the content or the body of the video. If you want to break the body down, it's kind of intro, the meat of it, the wrap, and then I'll do a call to action and then end screen. Why are some dames and Mark in blue? Those are the moderators of the live stream, but I'm sure Doug already answered that. And there it is. Thank you so much to Let's Play with the super chat. And I'm thinking once that goes through, it's going to knock Shannon Vlogs out of the stream boss position. And for some reason, it's being delayed. But I would imagine it would get there eventually. And it better, after I praised it from working properly earlier in the live stream, it better work this time. Weird City Citizen, I think it's relative. The more subs you acquire, the more subs you get. Not completely true. I used to think similar to that, in that you kind of continue to build momentum as your channel gets bigger. It kind of drives itself. But I keep an eye on the growth of other channels in my niche on Social Blade. not because I'm trying to compete with them, but because I kind of have this thought process of an ebb and flow of YouTube in general. So I kind of want to see the group of channels associated with my channel to kind of see how everybody's floating in the sea, because everybody kind of moves up on the highs together and they all go low together. And it kind of gives me a sense of what's going on. And I can tell you that you really can't ever sit back and just let the subs come in and do that. Once you build certain momentum, then to a certain degree that is true. But I've certainly seen other channels that are much larger than me perform less or not as good as I have. And I've certainly seen channels that were smaller than me outperforming my channel as well. So there is some truth to that, but you definitely don't ever want to let up on the gas. That said, you want to avoid burnout. I know it's kind of a complicated formula for success, but I try to stay consistent, but I also give myself the latitude to take a break when I need one, as long as I don't do it too long and you know, fall off the consistency on the channel. Okay. And all right. Scrolling. Why did that? No, we're still waiting. Let's play. Let me see if it's changed. No, it still shows Shannon. That is peculiar. I wonder if... Let's see if it does it if I go into the Stream Boss thing and I launch it. What does it show there? Well, that's useless. Oh well. All right, well, hopefully that'll update. I feel like we had that problem for you specifically before. I know, Shannon, but where were you at before he... I thought you were already down to like 10 or 20, but maybe I was mistaken. Maybe that's the problem. I'm not keeping track. If you're making the right kind of content, YouTube growth can be exponential. On my other channel, The Average Dan, how are you not already subscribed, Doug? Doug took over the Stream Boss by subscribing to the channel. Oh, that is funny. You know, you think you're quietly subscribing, but the next thing you know, unless you unsubscribed and resubscribed, is that what you did? Elite Jamaica official channel, you taught me most of what I know. The student always outdo the teacher. Well, there you go. So go kick some butt then. I definitely want you guys to be more successful than Creator Fundamentals. That's the whole reason for sharing this stuff. Oh, and Savage Scientist takes a swing at Doug. All right, Savage Scientist. I see you in here all the time, so. And so it shall be. With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, there's been a ton of changes on YouTube in the last year, 6 months or so. I'm really curious to see Daryl Eves' presentation on the algorithm, if he does algorithm again this year at Vid Summit, because it's night and day from what it was a year ago. They've been making so many tweaks and all the things that I relied on when I was growing the Average Dan, or right in the beginning, in terms of how the algorithm responded, seem a lot different. The biggest thing, what they're ultimately striving to do is make it as based on the audience response. You know, make videos that people like, and the algorithm will follow, is kind of what YouTube's take on. And perhaps they're getting much closer to doing that, and not being able to game the system based on the metrics that people think are important. So only time will tell. I know there's definitely been some bugs and stuff mixed in there in the last couple months or so. So hopefully when it gets all straightened out, we'll have a nice system that actually works and rewards people who put in the effort. All right. Let's see. What would you consider too narrow of content for a channel? Asks Kelly Schaffner. Hello, AZWheel00. Welcome to the stream. All right. So I read that question and forgot it while I was saying hi. Narrow of content for a channel. I don't necessarily think you can go too narrow as long as there's an audience for the content that you are creating. If you're super passionate about something, there's some really successful channels that are extremely narrow. If there's an audience, if there's people interested on that, you can be that expert on whatever that narrow niche is. And you can own it, and you can become the leading expert in it because nobody else has chosen to cover it. And yeah, so I mean, it really depends. You can try to do a little bit of research, see what type of content is out there, you know, get a feel for actual search terms related to the niche that you're looking at to see if people are actually looking for the stuff. And you can do that by typing ahead in the search bar on YouTube. That's one of the things that we talk about when we talk about keyword research, where, you know, so if you are, you know, I don't even know an example of something very niche. You know, maybe it's how to knit cat sweaters. So you go to YouTube and you say how to knit cat sweaters, and you see if it actually pops up as a search term that people are doing. And if it is, you can be the leading authority on how to knit cat sweaters. Whatever it is that you are passionate about and that you want to focus on, as long as you can find some evidence that people are actually searching for that, then you can go out there and own it. Elite Jamaica official channel, tell me when you're coming to Jamaica. I will buy you a drink, man. What I want to do now is to help others grow. Man, I would love to come to Jamaica. I have not been to Jamaica since my honeymoon, which was, what year is it now? 2018. I have not been to Jamaica for 13 years. So I think I'm due to get back. All right, what else we got going on here? I'm waiting for my ice to melt so I can have something to drink. All right. That looks good. Okay. Weird City Citizen, I think niche channels can do really well with the right presentation. Look at Review Bra as an example. I love Review Bra. How many of you guys actually watched the report of the week? Hello, everyone. This is Running on Empty Food Review. There's something mesmerizing about the report of the week. For those of you guys who don't know him, he's a younger YouTuber, probably in his early 20s. He wears vintage suits, has his hair slicked back, and he does essentially a lot of the time fast food reviews. But he has just such a dry sense of humor and that kind of vintage look. It's like he's an old soul talking about fast food reviews. Elite Jamaica official channel. I have a video trending at number 9. Awesome. Trending where? Can I look it up? Because that is excellent. All right, let's see something here. Nice, Elite Jamaica. I see the recent activity. You were just killing it. Wow. Look at that. Well, now you made me curious. I got to... Let us take a peek. Congrats on the 1 million video views. That's awesome. Very nice. Looks like you have, I'm assuming the spikes I see on your channel are from when you release videos, I would have to imagine. Those are some very healthy spikes you got going on there. Let's see what your recent videos are, and then we'll know. Nice. Very good. Congrats. Hey, I see somebody. Oh, there you are. Science Gal Aquatics. How are you? Happy 4th of July to you as well. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. Elite Jamaica. Let's see. Nice. You got some big winners in there. Really owning the top 10 videos. Those can be really lucrative. The top 10 content. You find the right topics that people are interested in. Top 10s are very consumable type content. You know, people can kind of absorb them while they're working and that kind of thing. They're entertaining in nature. So that is awesome. Well, that is great, Elite Jamaica. I'm glad that they are working out for you. Yeah, 4,000 in the last month. That is awesome growth. Well, since we're talking about it and you're in my list, we might as well take a look at your channel. We are going to take a look at Elite Jamaica. Ooh, I gotta realign that because it's kind of all over the place here. Alrighty, let's take a look. Let me get this all on the screen the way I want to. All right, let's take a look at your channel. Here goes. All right, Elite Jamaica. Learn about Jamaica and Jamaicans. It could not be more clear and concise in that regard. You certainly see some of the colors in the background here. I know we talked about this before. I don't know what, and it seems like you changed it a little bit. Because as I recall, it used to be blurry on both ends. Now these look sharper. I don't know what that one image is in here that kind of looks like it's a little pixelated. But in any event, that's a minor detail because there's only so much showing. But you definitely have the trademark green and yellow or green and gold. And then you are focusing on content that is kind of much less about branding. And these top 10 videos don't really rely on branding as much as they do with the type of content that they're covering. Obviously, in your case, your focus is Jamaica and Jamaicans, so they are certainly in line with the overall theme of your channel. And you are just taking advantage of the top 10. You got your 119,000 views from 3 months ago, 80,000 from 5 days ago. That is a great success for sure. 196,000 a month ago. So yeah, people are eating up these top 10 videos. So let us take a look. Let's grab this killer here. And again, for those of you who don't use TubeBuddy, this is one of the features that's offered by TubeBuddy. You can go to any video, and I may need to refresh this because of the way I opened it, but it will show you some statistics on a particular video. I don't really like the way I framed that, so let me fix that a little bit. Slide it over. All right. So yeah, look at these top 10 Jamaican musicians. Definitely killing it on the focus. And this is a great example. This channel is focused on Jamaica. It's becoming an authority on Jamaica and Jamaicans. And you're certainly capitalizing on that by associating the channel with a number of top 10 facts and information that kind of now associate them with your channel. So, and doing it all with the free version of KineMaster. All right. About section. Are you interested in learning more about Jamaica? If so, this is the channel. Visit to get in-depth and updated facts. Awesome. That seems true to the type of content that you're making. You're filling people in with top 10 notables in a variety of different subcategories of Jamaica and Jamaicans. You have the general color theme going. If I was going to offer any bit of advice here, and again, it depends how meaningful it's going to be for you brand-wise. Like, I like what you got going on up here, but you kind of have a whole different kind of style going with your icon. So I might consider, like, if I don't know if you use this logo anywhere else, but if you had something, you know, kind of like a subsection of this where it was just that dark stripe through the splash of color on the top of the bottom, and maybe it just said like EJ or something like that. But again, it just depends on where you're using. If you have a reason that you're using this particular logo because it's not really what your branding is doing on your channel. So let's see what this is over here, because I see official Tumblr, Twitter, 2 different Instagrams. That would be the one area that I might tweak to get this more in line with what you got going on up here. But you may have a reason for doing it that I am not aware of. Let me just take a look at your thumbnails real quick. It looks like you're doing some kind of branding down here with the Elite Jamaica. It's just super hard to read. Oh, there we go. Elite. I might try to make that. I might try to make that a little bit bigger if you can. And again, it looks like you've adopted the same font that you're using in your channel art as what you have down here. So that may be something to consider, updating the icon to match everything else. But these top 10 videos tend to stand on their own. There's a lot of big channels that make top 10 videos, and they don't really, it's the content is not as much about the brand as it is about making a shareable video that stands on its own. So branding becomes far less important in those videos. Like, it just depends on what the ultimate goal is for the channel and what it is you're trying to do. This type of channel with the top 10s and stuff could certainly be an ad revenue generator. But if you start to think broader than that and you want to expand beyond YouTube and how you do that, obviously I'm assuming you're doing some stuff on Instagram and things, all with the same kind of topic. You know, it just becomes of how strongly you want the brand to be like the household name for Jamaica and Jamaicans. And the more you want that to be a thing, the more you want to tighten up the actual branding that you have going on your channel. All right. And bear with me just a moment. Yeah, Elite Jamaica. It's just, I do like the readability and what you have going on in your channel art. You know, if there's no, other than the fact that you were previously using that logo, it kind of seems like you've moved away from it a little bit with the actual content that you're making. So it certainly could be something to consider. AZ. Just trying to backtrack on this conversation. All right. Awesome. All right. I'm going to do another channel review here. The next channel up is, let's get that to fit better here. I think that'll work. All right, the next channel up is Just Rashad. What's up, you guys? Rashad here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. The content I make on this channel is mostly anime and basketball videos, so if you enjoy any of those too, anime and basketball is an interesting combination. So the one thing that I looked at your channel earlier when you first popped in. Thank you for getting into the live stream nice and early. You were actually the first channel that I pulled up. I did want to mention something about your channel art that I noticed, because I've certainly had this issue before. I'm not sure if you're using GIMP or some other editor to do that, but one of the problems that I see with your font is you'll see at the end of each one of your text here, you'll see how your S is cut off here, and your S is cut off here, and your D is cut off here. That happens in some of the editors. I think it happens in GIMP when you use italic fonts. So you want to make sure that you either resize the text box when you're writing them, or you add an extra blank space after you're typing to get past the extra width that's being used. It's kind of a bug, because when you make them italic, they become wider, and for some reason it cuts off the end of the last letter. So I did notice that on here with these letters that was happening. I do believe that is why it's happening. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Also, in general, anime and basketball, I would try to get a little more focused on exactly what your content is. So let me look at your most recent videos, and that may kind of give direction on what exactly you're doing here. These all look like reaction videos to anime episodes. I'm thinking that's what's going on here, because I see you're using a green screen, you're superimposed over a video, and you're kind of sharing your thoughts on it. I took a peek at one of your videos earlier. Everything that I'm seeing yeah, I mean, you can kind of do content that's kind of all over the place, or more vloggy in nature. It kind of looks like you're having a little bit of a that you may want to consider narrowing the scope of your videos. One of the things that you kind of the sacrifices you have to make when you're focused on growth, if you're not interested in how quickly you can grow your channel, and you just want to make whatever you want to make, that's fine. But if you're focused on trying to grow your channel, you know, both audience wise and views, etc., you kind of want to stay focused on a given niche as much as possible. So you got a lot of content here with these reviews that you're doing, and I don't know if this is what you've moved to, but then you don't have to worry about removing the old content. But I would try to, I don't really see any recent videos about basketball. So if you want to do anime reviews, and you seem to have done a lot of those, then you probably want to get your channel focused on just doing that, and not throwing in the random video about bowling or basketball or other things that aren't related to that. You can certainly have multiple channels if you're compelled to make those types of videos, but the better or the more focused you are, the easier it's going to be to grow the channel. And basically the reason for that is when people come to your channel and they watch a particular video, people don't just go to a channel. They find a video in some form or fashion and they watch the video. If they're interested in the video, then maybe they make the jump to your channel to see your other content, or maybe they just subscribe to the channel. Well, The point at which they subscribe to your channel, there's an expectation of the type of content that they subscribed for. So if somebody says, hey, I really like your anime reviews and I want to see more of them, so I click the subscribe button. And then the next video you do is about basketball, and the next video about that is you bowling, and the next video about that is some random vlog. They're not getting what they signed up for, and they may leave, or they may just stop watching your videos. The worst thing you can do is have a subscriber who stops paying attention to your notifications or even turns them off because the last 4 videos didn't deliver on the promise that the video they subscribed on suggested would be delivered. So that is why focusing on a niche is so important, because you want that person who says, hey, I like this anime video, to get an anime video that they want to watch in a couple days, followed by another anime video. And that's how you build an audience. And that's how you keep them, because you're giving them the type of content that they're expecting based on what they saw when they subscribed to your channel. All right. All right, let me see here. All right, let's see, who did we just look at? We looked at that channel. Yeah, Rashad, that can be a challenge. You know, sometimes just either a couple different ways you can handle that. If you're on vacation, you may be able to use, you know, maybe you can watch an anime on your phone and do a screen record and then do a voiceover on the screen record. So you won't necessarily have your green screen effect, but you'll still be able to make content similar to what you're doing. Otherwise, just say, hey, I'm going on vacation. There won't be a video next week, but stay tuned because, I don't know, maybe you'll double up the next week or whatever, or you get back to your regular schedule when you get back. So stopping for a week to go on vacation is not going to kill your channel, provided you get back and you start making content. So that is the important thing. Trying to follow the conversation here. See some timeouts in there. Take care, Shannon. Good night. All right. Trying to catch up on... All right, so the next channel we are going to take a look at just because it was the one that happened to catch my eye, is from Daniel's Den. So, of course, when I saw this, the first thing, and based on your logo, I could probably confirm that it's a play on Daniel in the Lion's Den. Random trivia for when I made my first confirmation in Sunday school, we had to pick a Christian name, and I was able to pick my own name because I chose Daniel from the Lion's Den. And so I became familiar with that story. But that kind of seems what you got going on here. The channel art is very straightforward. It's easy to read. Tackling life's issues, which seems to fall in line with the description. Every week posting videos about how to overcome life's issues that normal people living normal lives struggle with every day. Seems like a good focus. And let's take a look at the actual... all right, so there is something that stands out here. So I kind of like, let's see, 1 month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. So you're doing it on a weekly basis. I kind of like what you got going up here from a branding perspective. So if I was looking at this channel from that perspective, and I was like, how can I make this branding kind of play in with each other? Just as an example, like right here, you have like this wood grain background with the white text, and then you have your icon with a white background, and then you have your thumbnails that are a green background with yellow text. Now, consider if you had the same channel art, which I like, it's strong and to the point and easy to read, and you took this wood grain background and you replaced the white background of your image here with that wood grain, and then you took what you were doing here on this particular thumbnail, which I'm not sure if that's just a screen grab from maybe some animation or something you got going, but in any case, if you use that brown background or that wood grain background instead of this green, and you used white font the way that you're doing up here, and maybe you even use this combination of these two particular styles of font in your thumbnail, I think that would tie all this together and really solidify your branding more. It would clearly identify that everything is related to each other and show that your thumbnails are associated with this channel. I mean, another way that you could do it, I think that trying to keep the colors somewhat related is important, and that's, you know, might even be more important than the branding elements itself. I know you'll see that there's some, you take like D. Niman's channel, if you're familiar with D. Niman, he uses a color scheme on his thumbnails that even when he's not in the thumbnails, you can tell that they're related to his channel. So that's something that I would consider there. Also, I would probably try to reduce the words on your thumbnails. You're only down to 3 words here, but you're using some pretty big words. Procrastinating is a really big word for a thumbnail. People don't really read thumbnails per se. They kind of absorb them as they're scrolling by, so you really need to be succinct and to the point as much as possible and draw their attention in as few words as you can. You know, I'm just looking at some of your examples here. You know, instead of why do I put things off, maybe it says don't wait. Or maybe instead of it's alive, reviving your dreams, live your dream, or something to that effect. Or realize your dream. Try to keep it as to the point. This isn't awful. Believe in yourself. It's easy to read. There's not a lot of words, no huge words. Fearlessly stop procrastinating. That's kind of a big mouthful. And I would also try not to overlap your text on your actual headshot. It just tends to make things look kind of crowded. And you are still pretty new off the bat with what you got here. So as you continue to create more videos, you're going to want to create the playlists, and then get the playlist listed out here as horizontal playlist to give people a nice, easy way to see a lot of your content when they first come to your channel. Dan's den. Kevin Boston asks, how did you become such a nice guy? I'm not actually a nice guy. I just play one on the internet. Let's see what we got here. Branding. Yep. Need to tie your face into the header somehow. Yeah, and that's another thing that you can do. I actually like that channel art. Getting your face in the channel art as well, if all of your videos are kind of talking head, is also a good idea. You could kind of invert the icon if you want to use the kind of the animated icon that you have there, maybe on the opposite side of the lion, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's certainly another thing that you can do, as Doug suggests, is using your lion icon or your lion head as the icon. I tend to prefer not even the animation, but an actual picture of your person, because when you're out there engaging with other channels and things, I think it's better to have a face. But I've certainly seen channels that don't do that that have been successful, so it's just kind of one of those preference things. But I do really like the lion. I think it works really good against that wood grain background as well. Daniel asked, would the thumbnails get boring with the same color? It's a lot of people think that the goal is to like make all these, you know, bright colored thumbnails that jump all over the place. If you're trying to build a brand and make people be associated with it, I mean, look at it this way. Have you ever asked yourself, would a Coca-Cola can get boring if it was always red and white? No, we just know that it's Coca-Cola because it's red and white and it has that same font. It's how you associate brands and products without even looking at the name. Regardless, I bet you if you saw a red can and it had that same lettering and it said chair, it would still make you think of Coca-Cola. Branding is all about the imagery that it presents to you, and what it reminds you of. And in this case, you want people to see it and say, oh, that's from Daniel's Den, the channel about XYZ. It's that getting that instant recognition, and you do that through repetitive offerings, such as doing and using the consistent color scheme to do that. Now, there are certain ways you can spice it up within the context of keeping those things that way, and you can play around with that a little bit, but it's actually, the point is to be repetitive, because that's how you ingrain it, wood grain, hashtag dad joke, in people's memory. Hello, cartoon that. I actually do not currently have a list of channels to review. I've reviewed the ones that I've picked out from earlier, and I may open it up to reviewing channels that may be in the live stream in a little bit, but I do not currently have a backlog of channels. So if you do want a channel review, definitely hang around in the stream, and we may be able to get to your channel. Car Galaxy's doing a deep dive into changing the channel art, suggesting an engraved or an ingrained lion. You know, I actually recently just did a. I wonder if I can find that. I actually learned how to do the technique of making your logo look like it's embedded in the wood. I just don't know if I would be able to find that. But if I can, I'll show you what that looks like. Oh yeah, there we go. So I actually did a logo for my, let's see if I can pull that up real quick. And my father does woodwork. So I did a logo for him, and I actually looked up how to do that ingrained logo effect, and I'll show you guys what that can look like. So this is actually a logo that I did for my dad to make it look like it was engraved into the wood. Of course, his name is Dick Currier, but he is retired Navy, and he's also retired from, he did 20 years in the Navy and 20 years with CSX Railroad. So I incorporated that into the logo that I did for him, and I wanted it to look like it was actually ingrained in wood to kind of tie into the, you know, the products that he was actually building for people. So it's actually not as hard as I thought it would be. And I actually found a great resource. I believe the channel is Logos by Nick. No relation to Nick Nimmin. But he does a lot of tutorials about how to do different types of styles of logos. And he makes it pretty straightforward to follow. So definitely cool if that's something that you want to dig into and learn more how to do. It was pretty, it didn't take me a lot of time to figure it out, and the instructions that were provided were pretty cool. So that is kind of what you could expect from doing that ingrained logo effect. And definitely, if you are currently in the live stream and you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, I would appreciate it that you do while you're here. And Nines with another super chat. How about first ever cat channel review? Absolutely, we can take a look at your channel. And I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. And now we have you up as the stream boss, which is awesome. Let's see here. We're going to pop that open. Get it to load. All right. Let me make sure that is centered. That should pretty much work, I think, for our needs. All right. We are going to take a look at Nines Cattudio. And here it is. So we have 3 Catuges Studio, Junior Sky 9, 9's Catudio. I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi, Paul. We make funny and educational videos with our Norwegian forest cat kitten and his cat brothers, dedicated to helping stray kitties, and we try to spread the please save a stray today. Hi Paw is our signature greeting and the reflection of extreme delight. Hi Paw to your subscription. Let's take a look here. Well, I assume you've identified the cast of characters here in your channel art. The one thing I would generally say about your channel art and the way you have it set up here is depending on your goals for your YouTube channel. So if your goal is to grow your YouTube channel, then I would maybe consider removing your URL from your channel art. If your goal of your channel is simply to drive people to your website, then you could certainly leave it there. I would just a little bit of a little confusion as to what people would refer to your channel as, whether it's 9s or it's 3 Catuges. That's kind of a confusing thing there. And I don't know what it is. Oh, so the pictures up here, I'm assuming were converted to black and white. That's why these colors look different, I'm imagining. It's hard to tell because that last one almost looks like it's in color, but it might just be black and white. Because I noticed there definitely seems to be some tans and browns down here, but not up here. In any event, looking at the actual videos, looks like we did a live stream. Tough Kitty Exposed. So I might find a way. The challenge with the more I look at the color thumbnails compared to what you have up here, I feel like doing these in black and white kind of takes away from the recognition of the cats a little bit, because you don't really realize that 9 has all this color. I'm assuming that's right. I think the nose is a dead giveaway. But obviously the colors in the coat are really distinguishable, and when you go black and white, you kind of lose that. You can't really tell what's going on up there. So I might consider making those color if that's a possibility. If you have those available as color images, that may be something to consider as well, just so there's more recognition based on, because you're, as opposed to a human being in these videos and doing the headshots, you're using the cats. Obviously, run into challenges here where you can't really see which cat it is. Dads with pets. I would probably try to find, again, this is the conversation about color schemes and branding and trying to get all of that to kind of work together. I would probably tend to go more towards a consistent font with maybe the same, using a couple colors and the same font consistency or consistently, rather than going different colors and compositions, etc. here, because again, it's the, you know, somebody's watching this video and maybe this video appears on the side, but they're not necessarily going to know this is your content because they don't really look like they're coming from the same channel. And again, if brand recognition is important and you're trying to grow the channel that way, that's something that you may want to consider. Let's look at your playlists real quick, see what we got going on here. Created playlists, cats in history, Nines moving diary, kinds of things. All right. Now, let's see. Did you do... Just want to look at the things in here. Nope. So there's not like a theme on your color schemes based on your playlists. So that's probably something I would try to streamline a little bit. And then taking a look here, see how we got this. Recent uploads. That'll work. I don't think there's a lot of value in doing all playlists on your channel page like this. I would try to keep it to the single horizontal playlist where you can display the individual thumbnails and titles, and use the space that way. If somebody wants to look at all your playlists, there's a button up here just to view all your playlists. So it's kind of redundant in that sense, and I don't think you're gaining a lot of value here by displaying them in that manner. All right. And let's hop back over, catch up with the chat. Per please. Just catching up on the chat here real quick and making sure I don't miss anybody. Don't want anybody's questions to get missed. All right, so thank you so much for the super chat from Gaming Snorlax. What do you use to edit your videos? I use Premiere Pro. I previously used Wondershare Filmora, which is a lot cheaper than Premiere Pro. It definitely did the job for quite a while, but I made the switch to Premiere Pro simply for wanting to learn how to use an industry standard editing software. But I certainly got everything taken care of that I needed to with Wondershare Filmora. Filmora is probably $50, $60 to buy, so it's definitely more affordable to do that, and it has a lot of great features that you can use to make nice looking content. But currently I make all my recent videos probably most of 2018. I think I switched over in January. Is done in Premiere Pro. And a very, very small fraction of Premiere Pro, because I am by no means a Premiere Pro. But I'm learning and trying to pick up a few little tricks along the way. Is it tree or try? What are we doing here? Just Hangout or something else? Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is simply a subscriber hangout. I let you guys kind of dictate the conversation. I'll bring in some YouTube news and other related things to share if needed during the conversation. But if you guys have questions and things you want to talk about, that is typically what we cover here on Wednesday nights. So no particular theme. I don't typically schedule a topic, but let's see how many people we have in here right now. Looks like we're still around 25 people. What do you guys think? Do you like the subscriber hangouts the way they are, or would you like me to actually start the live stream with a particular topic, some type of learning material? Let me know in the comments whether you like them the way the Wednesday nights the way they are, or whether you'd like some actual material to kick off the live stream. Either way is fine with me. I found that recently, with the volume of people that tend to come in the live streams, doing it this way has been effective. But if you want more educational material during the live stream, I'm certainly happy to do that as well. So definitely let me know what you guys think of that idea versus the current format. Teenage Mutant Ninja Cats. Missed part of that conversation for sure. We make our videos with Phil Morris, says Nines. And I swear as the evening goes on, it's getting hotter. Car Galaxy says DaVinci Resolve is also a great starter editor. Actually, it's got a lot of Pro Tools free to download, and you can edit up to 4K for free. I actually tried to use DaVinci Resolve before I went with Premiere Pro, and unfortunately for me, I kept running into errors. I actually had an older version, and I tried to install the most recent version, and there was a file missing, and I tried to replace the file, and unfortunately, I could never get it installed properly. And I'm not exactly incompetent when it comes to that sort of thing. It just kept having weird exceptions. But if you can get it to install successfully, it definitely seems like a super powerful software that can probably allow you to do a lot of the prototype feature things with it. And it's free, so that's definitely a good thing. Do you think is worth it doing a live on multiple platforms like YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook? If yes, simultaneously or separated? I mean, if you have the ability to cast your live stream on multiple platforms at once, I certainly think there can be a lot of value in that. Now, engagement-wise, depending on how you're doing it, presumably if you don't have a team, you may have some issues with engagement. Trying to interact with everybody on all the platforms. So that could be the negative side of doing it that way. But it really depends on what your goals are for the live stream. If you are an interaction heavy type content, then that may not be the right thing. If you're simply doing gaming where you just want people to, watch and listen, then you could certainly do the multi-stream on, on the various platforms, Twitch and YouTube and Facebook in that way. Weird City Citizen, can we allocate a section of the stream to Mansion? I could try to go get her and bring her in here. Last time I tried to force her to come in here, though, she wasn't super thrilled with that. And I think right now I am in a room that's probably, feels like we're getting close to 80 degrees in here. And she is currently holed up in my bedroom with the AC running in that room. So it's probably a lot more comfortable in there than it is out here where I'm streaming. But unfortunately, the other air conditioner is right near my head over here, and it gets kind of loud when it's on, so I turned it off for the stream. Christiana Link says, Wednesday Hangout, good the way it is. I appreciate your feedback. Guy, the IT guy, says, might get my channel reviewed next week. Absolutely. Oh, that is what Card Galaxy says. One thing I resolve, I can import DNG image files from Lightroom, but Adobe Premiere can't. That is strange. Yeah, see, I've always found it strange that the most frequent apps to freeze on a Windows machine always seem to be from the Office suite, which is ironic because it's all Microsoft. But anytime I have an app freeze, it's usually Excel or Word or, you know, one of those apps, which blows my mind because they should be from all the same ecosystem and made to run smoothly with each other. But I think the reality is the teams are completely in you know, perhaps even different parts of the world in some cases, and they don't really interact with each other as much as they should. Just look at YouTube. All the different places that YouTube exists. You got Creator Insider, Tom, who is in Zurich. And then you have the YouTube offices out in California. There's people everywhere. They don't seem to communicate with each other all the time. And things don't always go as smoothly as we'd like them to. I want to see someone play random. Let's see. Trying to, man, I see, what is your last job? And then Doug Houston replies, VHS duplication. But I don't think those two go together. So I have no idea what that conversation is about. Car Galaxy says, I agree, Dan. The megalith companies are sometimes too big. Products like Adobe and Microsoft probably also suffer issues like that. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. Yeah, while they all are under the same brand, they really are run like separate divisions, and a lot of times they don't interact with each other. You know, while one department's making progress, they're not keeping the other teams up to date with the progress that they're making, and then you end up having conflicts because they're not moving at the same pace. Kevin03, can you do more tutorials on how to grow on YouTube? I can and I will, but in the meantime, there's about 165 videos on Creator Fundamentals that are all dedicated mostly to how to grow on YouTube. So I would definitely take a look at some of those. Unless you've watched all 164, then thank you very much. I appreciate it. But you can also go, if you go to the videos tab and you do a search, if you're trying to learn how to get more views or subscribers, you can kind of narrow down that video list to the specific topic that you're looking for and go that way. Or you can go to the playlist tab, and I've tried to organize the videos either on how to get more views, how to get more subscribers, how to start a channel from 0 subscribers, you know, best practices, things not to do, and kind of everything in between. Giant Lifestyle. Last time I watched your channel, I had like 500 subs and never made $1 from my channel. Now I'm around 1,100 subs and almost 10,000 made. Awesome. Congrats to you, Giant Lifestyle. That is fantastic. Car Galaxy says, and if Adobe's watching, please sponsor Creator Fundamentals or myself. Got to cover all the bases. You know, I found an Adobe affiliate program, and I swear I applied to it, and I don't think they ever got back to me. I mean, one way or the other. They didn't tell me to pack sand or tell me I was approved, so. Want to be better? Just found you recently on your live streaming videos. Very helpful. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your feedback. I do appreciate it. Trying to... Weird City Citizen. I use Windows Movie Maker, which works on Windows 10. Use whatever you have to use to get there. Car Galaxy's queuing up the TubeBuddy promo. And for those of you who are not familiar, this video, this live stream is sponsored by TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is the #1 browser plugin for managing and growing your YouTube channel, and it is available to download for free. And there is a link in the description below, and there is a link in the chat. So definitely check it out if you've never used TubeBuddy. It is super handy. The free version is handy as well. I highly recommend you set up an account with them and check it out and see how it can help you grow your channel. How was that, Car Galaxy? And hey, if you did find value here on Creator Fundamentals and you're looking for ways to support the channel, these are brand new and they are available on Amazon. And I've actually priced them with pretty much no profit. I think they're priced $1 or $2 over what Amazon actually charges. So I put a link in the chat. So you want to spread the good word about Creator Fundamentals. I appreciate it. Let's see where we're at here. Paint.net, use as good as Photoshop and free. Doug Houston says moving to iPad mode. Just taking a look at all the different suggestions here for editors. I see a lot of people mentioning Paint 3D. It says best editor ever from Chicken Strips. Yeah, the Adobe suite can be kind of expensive. It ends up being like $50 a month, I think, to get the full suite. I was actually using Premiere Pro, and my daughter wanted to get, she got like a digital, and there I am smacking my microphone again. Wanted to get Photoshop, and I think we got that for, or she got a drawing pad, like a digital drawing pad for her birthday. So I ended up buying the entire suite. So instead of paying like $20 or $30 a month for one, you pay, I think it's $50 a month, and you get the entire Adobe suite. So we get, you know, Photoshop, which I should probably, you know, get up to speed on Photoshop since I've been using GIMP all this time. But obviously I use Premiere Pro. I have After Effects, which I still haven't dove into to figure out how everything in that works, and all the other ones that they provide with the suite. So one of the things I'll say about channel reviews is I definitely recommend, if you're just starting out on YouTube and you haven't kind of self-educated and watched some YouTube videos about how to apply best practices on your channel, I highly recommend you do that before actually requesting a channel review. only because there's some basic stuff in there that will, you know, kind of get you started, and then you can do a review to kind of feedback, you know, like things. So if your channel doesn't have an about section, if you haven't really focused or defined what your channel is about, I would definitely start there. You know, you want to make sure that you're trying to apply those things, and that you have a general idea of how all that should work. It's stuff that you're not really going to get a lot of value on in a channel review, because it's not in writing. It's not a video that you can pause per se unless you come back and watch the replay. So that would certainly be the first stop, I think. There's a bunch of people out there who make content. Obviously, Creator Fundamentals does it. If it's in a format that you can appreciate and it helps you learn, then you can definitely check out those videos here. But there's certainly also a variety of places to get it. So I would definitely recommend that you try to start learning those things before a channel review, or otherwise the channel review is not going to be very helpful for you. Yeah, that's a shame, Doug. Can't do the Amazon merch in Australia yet. Hopefully they'll get that soon, though. Trying to see if... Oh, sounds like one of the dogs is trying to sneak up on me over here, so... Actually, I think the dog is snoring. So we'll close that door so he doesn't snore into my microphone. Shortcut, looking at all these different recommendations on editors out there. Car Galaxy Studio says the price of Adobe Suite is going up to $52.99 for all app version in August. I would imagine since I committed to a year ahead of time that they shouldn't raise the price on me, but we'll see how that goes. But they give you the entire suite. Yep. Not necessarily done with channel reviews. We'll see how many... we'll see if we do any here. I'm not 100% sure. We'll try to take a look at a couple more here. Depends how much longer I can handle the heat, because it's getting progressively warmer in here. Let's see. I use my TubeBuddy checklist every time. Very helpful. Titles are my issue. Oh, that's not right. Let's see. Let us take a look here. Hi, Paw. To you, Nines. Have a good night. Is that for your icon guy, the IT guy? That could certainly work as opposed to what you got going on there. Kind of do the button configuration there. That's something you could try. Camtasia is also another software that's popular out there. I do know that Gord Eisman does a lot of content on Camtasia. So if you are looking into Camtasia and you need some how-to videos, you can definitely check out Gord Eisman's channel. Loading. Okie dokie. All right, so let me pull up here. See what channels I have open here. So give me a moment. We'll grab. So we're going to take a look here. But this is going to be real quick because Elite Jamaica, this other channel seems strikingly similar to yours. So a lot of the feedback is going to be the same. Again, they have a very similar style to what you're doing in the channel art. It almost looks like the same designer did the channels. Again, the icon doesn't really match the branding on the channel. It seems to be tackling the same type of content that you are. You definitely don't want to repeat the title in the thumbnail, and you don't want to use really really decorated or intricate text here, because it's pretty much impossible to read because it's so small and it is almost like cursive and there's way too many words. So you definitely want to get all that straightened out and fix that. I would also kind of recommend that you use proper capitalization, or maybe even capitalize, or on a title, capitalize the beginnings of words when making videos, just to look more professional. And you definitely need to reduce the number of words you're using and make them easier to read, maybe even by using the same font that you're using up here. But otherwise, it seems to be the same general topic that Elite Jamaica is doing. Let me look at the About section. I see the You're Not Alone. So in this case, this channel, I think your description is way too wordy here to get to the core of what your channel is about. I get that it's Jamaica. So this seems kind of like you're focusing on Jamaica itself, and where you stay entire back roads, side roads, roads that disappear into dirt tracks, etc. But you really need to zone in on what your content is actually about. We should talk about how people who are interested in learning about Jamaica, but they don't know kind of the ins and outs of the island. But it's very wordy and it doesn't really get to a conclusion that identifies exactly what type of content you're going to be focused on. If we look at your actual videos, driving in Jamaica, okay, what to take to the U.S. Embassy, proud to be Jamaican, 10 iconic cell phones, history of cell phones in Jamaica. Yeah, I would definitely kind of think you kind of have to focus on what specifically your channel is about. Because basically all I'm seeing is if you can get Jamaica in the title, then it's part of your content. And if that is generally what you're going to be doing, basically anything related to Jamaica is in bounds, then you really want to change your about section to reflect that. Because the about section kind of gets into talking about the island and what people don't know about it. But then you have videos that are top 10 richest athletes and artists from Jamaica, which really doesn't tie into your about section at all. So I would focus on kind of getting that tweaked. Again, rethink the icon here because it doesn't really apply to everything else that you're doing. You got your horizontal playlists. You need to get descriptions for each one of your playlists that identify exactly the type of content that you're going to be displaying in there. I assume that's just old content. In cases where you have old content that doesn't really apply to the current focus, which $10 DIY camera slider is not really listed on that, I wouldn't display that on your channel page. You don't have to remove it from the playlist, but I wouldn't include that playlist on your main channel page. So that is the suggestions on that channel. And again, try to tighten up the branding there and really kind of zero in on what your channel will be making videos about. All right. And I close some of these windows here because there's just way too many. Got that one all reviewed. Okay. All right. Let's see. We're just going to want to close that door a little bit. The dog is snoring in there. All right, and all right, so I think we are going to, let's see here. Take a peek here real quick. All right, so there were a couple channels asking for, I'm going to do 2 more channel reviews and then we're going to wrap this show up. And I think these will be, let's take a look here. All right, so the first channel is, I guess it's pronounced Chicken Strips. That's how I would interpret it. Channel art doesn't really tell anything about what your channel is about. You have generally the same color scheme here, but you kind of have, I can't really tell, there's some kind of texture involved in the logo that you got going on here, and I really don't know what it is. It almost looks like a chicken strip. I'm not really sure what's going on in there, and it doesn't really tie back to what you have going on up here. Go to the About section, and I like to play VR games. Join me and watch me play them because if you're here, you probably like them too. All right, so if we go to videos, see what you have for videos. Curious to see what this actually looks like video-wise.
Princess. So see you guys once I'm done doing that.
Okay, so it definitely looks like some VR content. Interesting how that displays. Um, Definitely need to get some information in your channel art that identifies that you're focusing on VR content. Also, again, with the logo that you have here, the icon that you have here, and the channel art, you want to get those all in tune with each other so people can tell that it's all from the same channel. The logo down here seems to have the same texture, but nobody's going to be able to tell that this is the same as this because they're all kind of done in a different way. Again, there's that texture going on with these, but the way this is configured, nobody's going to look at this and say, yeah, that's the same as this CS down here. So you want to get those all aligned, same colors, color scheme, font choice, design, so people know that it's your content. And then as you develop more content, you want to make sure that you create playlists. You don't have any playlists yet. As you develop more content, get them into playlists and get those playlists listed at horizontal here on your channel. So that's where I would go on that channel. And then we have another channel that requested a review, and that's Shadow Speedy. We'll take a look at your channel real quick. So the first thing that I'll say about this is that combination of colors is a little bit hard to look at. The red and the neon green are not really, it's kind of a harsh combination. And the last thing you don't want to do is kind of offend the senses of the person who comes to the channel. And those two colors are not, don't work the best together. So I would think about how you can find some more complementary colors to use in that and kind of get those toned down a little bit. Let's see here. Looking for... I don't know if this is like NASCAR Racing 2003, if that's what this is. Videos on NR 2003 from how to get to free game. All right, so let's compare that to what you're actually doing videos about. Your most recent videos, NR 2003. I see a Pokemon video kind of mixed in there. Pokemon. So you definitely want to try to focus on the content that you are indicating you're going to be creating. And you're doing NASCAR and sim racing on Monday and Let's Plays on Friday. If you're consistent like that, that might work, but you are probably going to experience a little slower growth because you're kind of you have the potential of drawing in two very different audiences. If there's somebody who is interested in your NASCAR content, obviously they may not be interested in what you're doing on Friday, especially if your Friday content is Pokemon. So that's something to consider. Kind of focus in on a particular niche and stick with it. And I think you'll be able to get, if you do that and you kind of focus in on a particular audience, you may be able to grow your channel a little bit quicker by, keep providing the content that your subscribers are looking for rather than having potentially two subsets of your audience subscribe to your channel for different things. So I would definitely kind of rethink. I mean, that's the other thing with these colors. When they get really small, it's kind of hard to see that clearly that's SS. reds and blacks tend to get muddy when they're small, and the green. I would play around with some different color choices there. And also kind of narrow in on exactly what you're going to be making videos about, and try to be a little more focused than just let's play anything. All right, so I think those, we got through those pretty quick. Where are we at? Well, it's about 90 degrees and it's 11:35 p.m. So I appreciate everybody coming to hang out tonight, but I think this is a great point to wrap it up for the evening. We will jump over to Discord for a little while. If you have not joined the Discord server, definitely come and hang out with us. We can chat over there for a little while after the live stream. Just another place to interact with other creators. If Discord's not your thing, if you are on Facebook, then definitely recommend joining the Facebook group. And I'm trying to see, there it is. We're closing in on 1,000 members on the Facebook group Creator Fundamentals, so you can follow that link to head over there, or you can just search for Creator Fundamentals on YouTube and click on the result in the group section. Again, a lot of creators just like you trying to grow their channel, sharing advice, milestones, etc. So it's a great place to interact with other like-minded people who are all trying to grow just like you are. So again, it's the 4th of July. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to hang out with us on the 4th of July. And be sure to join next Wednesday. Really driving me crazy with this whole YouTube studio thing until they get all the features in one place. But it is what it is. So I'll be over on Discord, and everybody have a great night. And if I don't talk to you before then, I will see you next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Take care, everybody.